Imagine pulling into a parking lot in a car that looks like it belongs in front of a five-star hotel. The body is long and elegant. The paint reflects the sunlight like a mirror, and the badge on the hood instantly tells everyone around you that this is not an ordinary vehicle. People walking by glance at it for a moment longer than they would most cars. Some assume the owner must be a business executive. Others assume the price must be somewhere near $60,000 or $70,000. Because that is exactly what cars like this usually cost when they are new. But here is the strange truth about the luxury car world. Some of the most expensive vehicles ever built eventually become shockingly affordable. Over time, depreciation quietly erases most of their original value. Technology moves forward, newer models appear, and suddenly a car that once represented the peak of comfort, engineering, and status can be bought for the same price as a used economy car. And hidden inside the used car market are vehicles that still look incredibly expensive, still feel incredibly luxurious, yet cost less than $5,000. Most people completely ignore them because they assume luxury always equals expensive. But that assumption creates a strange opportunity for the few people who know where to look. Today, we're going to explore 7 luxury cars built after the year 2000 that can sometimes be found for under $5,000, yet still look ridiculously expensive when you see them on the road. Some of these vehicles were once executive flagships. Some were technological showcases for their brands, and one of them was built with such extreme engineering standards that it still feels like a car from a completely different price bracket. The first car on this list comes from a company that most people associate with affordable vehicles, not high-end luxury. But for a brief moment, that company decided to challenge the entire luxury car industry. And the result was something very few people expected. In 2011, Hyundai introduced a full-size luxury sedan called the Equus. At the time, the idea sounded almost unbelievable. Hyundai, a brand known mostly for practical and budget-friendly vehicles, suddenly wanted to compete directly with cars like the Mercedes S-Class and the Lexus LS. Instead of starting small, they went all the way to the top of the luxury segment. The Equus was long, wide, and incredibly comfortable. Inside the cabin you could find soft leather seats, Heo wood trim, advanced infotainment systems, and even features like reclining rear seats designed for passengers who wanted a limousine-like experience. Under the hood was a powerful V8 engine delivering smooth and effortless acceleration. When the Equus first arrived on the market, it shocked many reviewers because it offered an enormous amount of luxury for its price. The problem was perception. Many buyers simply could not accept the idea of paying luxury car money for a Hyundai badge. As a result, depreciation hit the Equus extremely hard over time. Today, early examples with higher mileage sometimes appear on the used market around the $4,000 to $5,000 range. And yet, when someone sees the long silhouette, the elegant interior, and the overall presence of the car, they rarely imagine it cost the same as an old commuter sedan. But if you thought a luxury Hyundai was surprising, the next car on this list might be even more unusual, because it was built by a company famous for practical economy cars. Yet the engineers were given one goal: build the most advanced luxury sedan possible, regardless of cost. The car that came out of that project was the Volkswagen. The Phaeton was not just another luxury sedan. It was a statement. The project reportedly had extremely strict engineering requirements. The interior had to remain perfectly comfortable, even in extreme climates. The cabin needed to stay quiet at high speeds. The entire car had to feel solid and refined in a way that rivaled the best vehicles from Mercedes and BMW. Engineers went so far that some versions of the Phaeton shared technology and development with high-end Bentley models. When it was introduced in the early 2000s, it was a remarkable machine filled with advanced features, powerful engines, and meticulous build quality. But the market struggled to accept the idea of a Volkswagen priced like a flagship luxury sedan. Because of that mismatch between engineering ambition and brand perception, the car depreciated heavily. Today, early Phaeton models occasionally appear in the used market near the $5,000 range, especially with higher mileage. And yet the design still looks calm, elegant, and executive. It's the kind of car that blends into luxury environments without drawing unnecessary attention, which is exactly what many high-end buyers originally appreciated about it. But the next vehicle on this list comes from a brand that built its reputation on performance as much as luxury. Infiniti, the luxury division of Nissan, spent years trying to create sedans that combined comfort with serious driving power. One of the most interesting results of that effort was the Infiniti M45. At first glance, the M45 looks like a refined executive sedan with smooth curves and a premium interior. But under the hood it hides something unexpected, a powerful V8 engine capable of delivering performance that rivaled many European luxury cars of its time. The M45 was designed for drivers who wanted the comfort of a luxury sedan without sacrificing excitement behind the wheel. Inside the cabin you could find leather seating, advanced audio systems, and the quiet ride expected from a premium vehicle. When it first entered the market, the M45 sat comfortably in the luxury price range, often selling for tens of thousands of dollars, depending on options. But as newer Infiniti models replaced it, depreciation quietly transformed the market. Today, some older M45 examples with higher mileage can appear surprisingly close to the $5,000 mark. And to most people on the road, it still looks like a premium performance sedan, rather than a budget purchase. The next car on this list takes a completely different approach to luxury. Instead of focusing on aggressive performance or bold design, it focuses on balance, refinement, and precision engineering. Acura, Honda's luxury division, created the RL as its flagship sedan during the mid-2000s. The RL represented everything Acura believed a modern luxury car should be: advanced technology, intelligent all-wheel drive systems, and an interior designed with careful attention to detail. One of the most impressive features was Acura's super-handling all-wheel drive system, which allowed the car to distribute power intelligently between the wheels for better traction and stability. The RL also offered navigation systems, high-quality materials, and the kind of reliability that Honda engineering had become famous for. When new, this car competed with respected luxury sedans from Europe and often carried a price well above $50,000 depending on the configuration. But over time, the used market slowly pushed its value down as newer models appeared. Today, higher mileage examples sometimes approach the $5,000 range, making it one of the more surprising luxury bargains available. And visually, it still carries the presence of an upscale executive sedan. The next car on this list continues the theme of large, comfortable luxury sedans, but this time from an American brand known for smooth highway cruising. Lincoln introduced the MKS as a flagship luxury sedan designed to deliver quiet comfort, advanced technology, and a spacious interior. The car featured a strong, elegant design with a large front grille, a long profile, and an overall appearance that suggested a far more expensive vehicle. Inside, the cabin drivers could find leather seating, modern infotainment systems, and a focus on comfort that made long road trips incredibly relaxing. Some versions even included powerful turbocharged engines that gave the car surprisingly strong performance for a large luxury sedan. When it first appeared in dealerships, the MKS competed with other full-size luxury cars in a price range that placed it firmly in premium territory. But time and depreciation eventually transformed its position in the market. Today, older high-mileage examples can sometimes approach the $5,000 range, which is remarkable considering the level of comfort and presence the car still delivers. But the next car on this list might be one of the most interesting combinations of luxury and engineering ever created by a company known primarily for safety. Volvo built its reputation around protecting drivers and passengers, but the Volvo S8 V8 added something unexpected to that philosophy: serious power. The S8 V8 featured a compact yet powerful 8-cylinder engine, developed in partnership with Yamaha, producing smooth acceleration and a deep, refined engine note that felt completely different from typical Volvo sedans. The car maintained Volvo's signature design language with clean lines, understated elegance, and a calm, sophisticated interior. Inside the cabin, drivers found high-quality materials, comfortable seats, designed for long journeys, and advanced safety technology that reflected Volvo's core identity. When new, the S8 V8 was positioned as a premium luxury sedan with a price to match. But as the years passed and newer models replaced it, depreciation pushed its market value down dramatically. Today, higher mileage examples can sometimes approach the $5,000 range, making it one of the most unusual luxury performance bargains available. Which brings us to the final car on this list, and perhaps the most shocking example of all, because it comes from a brand that most people associate with exotic sports cars and high-end performance vehicles. The Porsche Cayenne changed everything when it was introduced. Ach! First, many enthusiasts were shocked that Porsche would build an SUV. But the Cayenne quickly proved that a performance-focused luxury SUV could become incredibly popular. Early Cayenne models offered powerful engines, advanced all-wheel drive systems, and interiors that felt unmistakably premium. When these vehicles were new, they were priced firmly in the luxury category, often reaching well beyond $50,000 depending on the configuration. Yet over time, as newer generations appeared and the market shifted, the earliest Cayenne models experienced heavy depreciation. Today, some high-mileage examples from the early 2000s can occasionally appear near the $5,000 mark. And when people see the Porsche badge on the hood, they rarely imagine the vehicle might cost less than a used compact car. The truth is that the luxury car market behaves very differently from the rest of the automotive world. Cars that once represented the absolute peak of engineering and prestige eventually fall into price ranges that most people never expect. For those willing to research carefully, inspect vehicles properly, and understand the realities of maintenance, these hidden bargains can offer an experience that feels far more expensive than the purchase price suggests, because sometimes the most surprising thing about luxury cars is not how much they cost when they are new, but how affordable they can become once time quietly reshapes the market.